Hi, welcome back to Tracking Networth with Jappie. So, a lot happened this month. I went to Zurich, which is like the biggest Haskell programming event in the world, and yeah, I talked to my colleagues there, who also use Haskell, and about like an idea I have for cabal exec printing. And the important part is that I can potentially get funding from the Haskell Foundation for this project. I mean, considering how everyone's reacting, I think it's quite likely I'll get that, especially since nobody wants to work on it, so that's really good. Yeah, and I have like an employee as well, right? Like I hired someone who is like working on something called MASAP right now, which is like a second income stream. That's like nearing completion, so that will be almost sellable. And then I'm gonna like let him do the work for the exact printing project. So I will be sort of like a middleman, just arranging the funding and then paying him from that money, and then hopefully make a tidy profit. I don't know if it's possible, but we'll see. You gotta try some things. Anyway, I also started the BV process, which is transitioning the structure of my company for like tax reasons, which will allow me to keep a lot more money on hand, without like considering it to be income. Yeah, and that's essentially what he told me as like an idea, which I would be all too happy with. And then finally, actually not finally, where there are more points in this list. There are many points. I have shares in a company called Supercede because I worked for them for like 4 years, and the options turned into shares. And they did a fundraise, so we'll see in the near future. I don't know the valuation yet, but we'll see those shares rise in value. I think it's maybe like double on value. I'm not sure yet. They told me before it was like a 30% increase, but they changed their fundraise from 7 million to 15 million, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. Oh yeah, right. I work for this. So my day job is this construction technology company called Converge, and I got like really good feelings about this project I'm working on as well. So that it's exciting. I mean, I won't get any direct benefits from it going good or bad, aside from not being fired. But it's yeah, we're gonna just demonstrate it to the customer next week, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, one customer is really happy with us, and we need to get the second one on board as well. Like grow the project. One nice thing about this though is I got like some customer interaction experience as well, which is I mean I've done this before, but it will be good to just like do this more and see how other people do this. So the woman that was living here, and which I had a sort of relation with, Veronica, has left last month already, and I don't think she will be coming back here or to the Netherlands. Our paths just no longer align, I guess, which is unfortunate, but this is how things go, right? But I need to meet other women, and hopefully one day I'll get a family or whatever. It'll be nice. So I went to a festival to try, meet people, but I didn't go there too long because I got like really. I mean, I just went there for a walk. To be honest, I had a lot of stuff on my mind. I mean, I think this is like the biggest issue I have with talking to people is that I'm just so busy in my mind that it's difficult to concentrate. But yeah, I tried it, and I went there, which is a big step forward. Right, and finally, like this is the final point. I started focus financially on paying back my debts. So we'll see this in the numbers right now. Okay, so we can see it because yeah, well, let's go over the numbers here. So like, I have cash, it's like, 30 euros. I got some money in checking account. I'm gonna close this account actually. I have two banking accounts, two private banking accounts, the ING and ABN. And I'm gonna make it one private banking account because I don't need two. I got three private banking accounts, but one is for Aruba, for the Aruba project. So I got like a house in Aruba, which I'm renting on Airbnb, and I need to like pay utilities there as well. So that's why I got the CMB bank. N26 is the business bank account, and there's like 9,000 euros on that right now. So there's still like 4,000 euros in this private bank account, and then still 4,000 euros in the CMB. Actually, this is not quite right because somebody paid ahead for one of the bookings. They didn't want to go through Airbnb and book directly. So actually, there should be a little bit less money on this, but they paid ahead. So I'll just have less income in October or something. But yeah. Yeah, the savings account actually already has no money on it, and I moved it to another bank because they pay interest, and ABN doesn't really pay interest. Like, they pay 1%, and this bank pays like 3.5%. So, you know, it's a big difference. So funny thing is, like, Dave Ramsey says it doesn't really matter to have like 2% difference, but it matters to me. It's free money, right? And then we got pension. Right, it went up a lot in value actually. This is just S&P going haywire, like increasing a lot in value. And then, you know, the flex security thing is also going up apparently for once, which is new. But I don't expect this account to grow a lot because they have so many costs. Like, I would expect this to go down again. This one will keep growing because the cost base is a lot lower. It's only like, I think it's like 0.5% or like 0.25% per year, maybe, which is, you know, for dealing with it's the cheapest option I could find. Oh right, an interactive broker. So this is also a bit of a lie actually. So what's happening with interactive broker? This is like my private non-tax advantage brokerage, and I have a lot of shares in Moscow Stock Exchange because, you know, they had oil companies, and back in Corona, oil was actually really low, trading really low compared to other companies, and I thought it was like a good idea to buy a bunch of oil companies that turned out to be quite profitable. However, then, you know, I hadn't sold them yet until the war broke out, and I couldn't sell them anymore. So the money is still there, and I recently got a message that they will stop providing information about those companies. So this will not change a lot in the future. I suspect that these assets may be seized in the future by the Russian government, but so this will be essentially like a probably 15,000 euros write-off. They grew a little bit of value apparently over the years since I couldn't sell them. I would have loved to trade those stocks for paying off debts, but yeah, I cannot. And then, you know, you got the house value that doesn't change because I use the government way of measuring the value of the house, which like they do it like once a year, and then I'll just take it over. I have this additional metric because I insulated the house, but the government hasn't taken into account it yet because I didn't assign the energy label, and it cost money to do. So I just halved it and then put it on this because there will be some value from the insulation, but I just halved the value because like I think they'll take like profit, you know, for doing that stuff, and it's not a 100% increase in value like that. You know, Yair Stride is just calculated from a Ruben currency, so that's fine. Right, let's go over our debt. So I still have student loans, which are like 0.5%, so I will not pay them back if I cannot. Taxes. So I just added 3,000 here because I have to pay around 3,000 a month on income tax, so from now on every month I'll add 3,000 to this. However, I got the tax bill as well from last year, and it's indeed 26,500, and I have to pay it back in July. So I'll use my savings account for that, so it'll be fine. Yeah, one issue actually is because I'm transitioning the tax structure of my company, I'm not actually sure if I can book out money from this account yet. So that's a bit annoying because I want to book it onto the savings account, right? I don't want to have like 9,000 euros here. I want to have like around 7,000 euros here. But I'm not sure because I want to keep a lot of money in the holding company, and I think I already booked out more money this year than I can have in the holding company because I was paying down my debts. And we can see that on the balance sheet. So this loan is gone now. I paid this one off, which is really good. It feels good. Now I have 250 euros less a month in payments. I still have to pay 1,750 euros a month for these two. They're going down fast, but that's because I have high... at the time when I was closing them, I knew that I wanted to pay them down quickly, but I want to pay them down even faster than what I originally anticipated. That's just by watching a bunch of Dave Ramsey and, you know, realizing that, yeah, debt has actually a major psychological impact, and I got first-hand experience that it makes me quite anxious to have all this debt around. So yeah, I want to pay it off as fast as I can. And that's, you know, essentially is an entire stick, is that, you know, there's risk involved for one, and two, you get an emotional impact on your finances. So you have to take these two things into account when doing finances. It's not just the math. And even though, well, he would like recommend you to pay, you know, smaller debts down first, but because it's all 0%, I'm not gonna pay them back. I'm still, you know, a bit too autistic, but I'm gonna focus on these higher yielding ones, and we can see that back in that number as well. So the assets have remained roughly the same. They went a little bit down, but the liabilities went down a lot, and they mostly went down because of high yielding debt. So as a percentage of total liabilities, we can see that the high yield debt, which is higher than 5%, has gone down a lot, which is good. Yeah, so that's, I think this is the update for this month. We can talk about income as well, but it's just like, you know, it's around 11,000 from the company and 2,000 or 3,000 from Airbnb, and expenses, you know, there's the same every they're roughly the same. They're around 2,000 or 3,000 euros. Yeah. I just think this is more interesting to go over. Anyway, if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below, and thanks for watching, and see you all next month.